Okay guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. It is been a while, it's been a very long time, and we have for you today a Scottish Premiership predictions for this season. Dundee back in the top flight, so I thought why not, let's do a prediction video for Scottish Premiership. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And without further ado, let's get right into the prediction and the first video on the channel. So for my prediction, in 12th position we have the worst team in pre-season, and I think it's guaranteed. It's St Johnstone. St Johnstone aren't exactly in the greatest position. They have not made a single signing this summer, and it is looking worrying for St Johnstone. They've not improved their squad. They have taken away, in fact. I think they've lost a couple of players over the summer. They lost Theo Bair to Motherwell, and it's just not looking good at all for St Johnstone, and it's looking likely that they will be in a relegation scrap. But I've put them in 12th position because I do think that they aren't going to be good enough at all. They've lacked any sort of belief. They don't look like a club running well. Their manager's very inexperienced. It's almost like Dundee United last season with Will Fox, whoever his name was with Fox, and it just doesn't look good for the Perth side. But hey, who knows, they might be down, and that's my prediction in 12th. So in 11th I've got Ross County. Ross County always seem to find their way of getting out of relegation. They were in the playoffs last season against Queen's Park, and they did win that game again. No, was it Queen's Park? I'm sure it was Queen's Park. And they did win that game and did stay up once again, and they've always just slimed their way through getting the seasons. They do have some good players though, in terms of Dahanda, and even Simon Murray, who's just went to them halfway through last season. He was magnificent signing for them. But it's really just looking for, are they going to get new signings in? They've already got a defender in there, Josh Reed, for £200,000. I think it's about 190,000. I don't think they're going to be strong. I just think they're going to be consistent. And hopefully for Dundee's sake, they're consistently shit this season. But we'll see how that goes. And I've got them in 11th. And I think they're going to be okay. I think they might get to the playoffs and again slime themselves way through to slime themselves to stay up once again. They always find a way. So in 10th, I've put Dundee in 10th position. We've made a total of 12 signings this window, and there is still more additions to be coming in. Is it 12? I'm sure it's 12. It's about 8, or I think it's about 10 to 12 signings we've made this summer, and I'm liking the way they're looking this season. We've got fantastic players come in, and it's looking like it could be a good season for the first season. I can't say I like the way that we're playing. We're playing with a 5 back, and it is going to be a defensive formation this season. But as long as we can play on the counter attack, because we do have faster players like Scott Tiffany, we have Luke McCowan as well, who has been in really good form, and you can see that. And then maybe to see the likes of Charlie Riley moving up the 3 divisions. I've not seen him yet play, and then to get a lot of loan signings is a bit worrying, because it's going to be a fresh build once again next season if we do stay up. And I think we're looking okay, and hopefully we can get maybe Zach Robinson on a permanent deal this summer. But I like the team. Shaughnessy's a captain this season, and then when Trevor Carson gets in goal, I think we'll be stopping everything going in. You know, Trevor Carson's a good goalkeeper. He's 35, but we did pay £280,000 for him, which for Dundee, that's a lot of money to be spending when you've just got promoted. So they must be out to stay in the league to get their stadium up and running. That's my thoughts. We've got 2 Mexicans in Pineda and Antonio Portales. Portales is brilliant. He is a brilliant centre-back, but whether or not he stays fit in Scotland, who knows. But that's my prediction for Dundee. They're 10th in the league. So in Ninth position, I've put Motherwell. I think Motherwell will be good this season, but I don't think they'll be amazing. I think they will just stay up. They've only signed 2 players this season, and of course I put Van Veen there because that is a big talking point in terms of losing Van Veen is rather hard on them, because that's their top scorer. I think he got about 16 to 20 goals last season. He was a guaranteed goal scorer, and I mean he did have one good season, which was last season, and I believe that there were talks about him always going to go if an offer came in, and FC Groningen from the Eredivisie, I believe, was the team that offered about 650,000 for Van Veen, and Motherwell would be stupid not to accept that for a 31-year-old, I believe he is. He had one good season and he's away in Holland now, but I think they'll be okay this season. I don't think they'll do anything amazing. Can't see them doing well in the Cups either. I don't really see Motherwell getting to a final or anything. It's not looking bad for them, but it's not looking great because only 2 signings in. One loan, Micah Bieref from Arsenal on a season-long loan, and yeah, that's Motherwell in 9th. And in 8th, we've actually put Kilmarnock. I think Kilmarnock this season will be a lot better than last, and their signings are unbelievable. They've made some great signings, getting Marley Watkins, Lewis Mayo on it. I think it's a free transfer, but I've not heard anything about it. Getting Stuart Finlay back to the club on loan. They're looking like a very strong outfit this season, and Robbie Diaz, he's a tremendous player. I used to always sign him on Football Manager in my Dundee days, and he's unbelievable. He's a really good player. Kyle McGuinness as well, fantastic. Matt Kennedy coming in from Aberdeen, another really good player. Again, a lot of these players as well are all free transfers. Kel McElroy, again, another free transfer, and it's really, really looking like a strong side that Derek McInnes is building at Rugby Park. And it's looking like it's going to be a good season for them. I mean, it is an AstroTurf pitch. A lot of teams struggle on AstroTurf pitch, but because they train on it, it is probably a lot easier for them. As much as I really don't like them in the league, especially top league in Scotland, but who knows? You expect the SFA to step in and say, "Oh no, we'll get rid of it," but no, never seems to happen. And yeah, I've put them in 8th for my prediction. So in 7th, the top of the top 6, I've actually put Livingston. I think Livingston are going to be alright this season. I think with the strikers they've got, and keeping Joel Newbley and Bruce Anderson, I'm surprised they kept Bruce Anderson, because Anderson is a very top player. He scored against Dundee 2 seasons ago when we were in the top flight. He was a big part of them last season as well when he was playing. He's always getting those goals, important goals that they need. And they've got such a good side, strong side. I think David Martindale is a very good manager as well. I can't see them not staying up this season and getting the top half finish in the bottom half of the table. 7th position, I think, very good. I can't see them doing much better than that. I think they could potentially do worse, but it's very unlikely, as they are, again, another AstroTurf team. But I am not... have an AstroTurf pitch, sorry. I'm not sure that they will do much better than 7th. I can't see them going down. I don't think they've got that much of a poor squad. Getting Michael Devlin on free from Aberdeen and then selling Nicky Devlin to Aberdeen for free. I think they're looking alright to finish that mid-table position, so they're in 7th. So moving on into the top 6 of the table, we've went for Hibernia. Now Hibernia have actually splashed the cash this season. They have spent about £1.5 million this season, which is a lot for an Edinburgh side and even a Scottish side in general, spending a lot of money. They've signed Dylan Levitt for around about a fee of £350,000. They got that Dylan Vente for about £800,000, which was madness at the time when I seen that. I thought he was a rather expensive signing, to be fair. They got William Fisher on loan from Man United. and then they signed Elio Yohan for an undisclosed fee, as far as I'm aware, and it's looking like it's going to be an okay season for them, but I can't see them getting into Europe again, because with the teams in Scotland, getting into Europe is going to be quite difficult. Because when they're playing in Europe, because Hibs are again, I think they just got drawn against, was it Louvren from Switzerland, and then I'm not so sure who they're going to play afterwards, potentially even some Premier League teams. But yeah, they've got some good players, but are they going to be good enough to play all those games Thursday, Sunday? I can't see it, and especially if they do get to group stage football, it could mean that they drop down the league because they're trying to get wins and playing Thursdays and Sundays. It's quite tough on smaller clubs if you've not got a big squad anyway, that's for sure. I think they'll be okay though, obviously. I think they've got a good manager, and I can't see them not doing too bad this season. So that's my prediction for 6. So I've actually put St Mirren above Hibs, and I do think that they will probably get Europe this season if it is going to go that way. I think St Mirren are looking fantastic. I mean, they've only made the one signing of Mikel Mandaron from, I think it was Aberdeen, on a free transfer. But the Paisley side are looking, I don't know, they're looking like a team well built. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't get top 6, but they got top 6 last season, and I don't see why they couldn't do it again. They got results against Celtic and Rangers last season. Like, no, not many teams can do that, and to get them on both seasons, I think they beat Celtic 2-0 last season in January. If I can remember that correctly, I'm sure they beat them 2-0. Marco Hara's a fantastic player, and they've got really good players, and I can't see them not finishing in the top 6 again this season. It's the club moving forward, that's for sure. And so St Mirren are 5th. So on to the top 4, and went for Hearts into 4th, because I think with them getting Conference League this season, I think they will be rather sluggish again. They got experience from it last season as well, playing against Besiktas. Who was the other team they played against? Was it Besiktas? I don't even think it was Besiktas. It was Başakşehir, Istanbul Başakşehir. And then a couple other teams. I think Rijeka was another one, if I'm not saying, or Riga. So they've got a little bit of experience in that sense, but I just can't see them being able to manage it again. They have signed Frankie Kent and Michael McGovern. I think Frankie Kent was around about a £500,000 fee. I don't know anything about Michael McGovern or Frankie Kent. Don't know if they're going to be good for them. Hearts' squad, they're still quite a good team. They also did get Alex Lowry on loan from Rangers after recording this, or before I record this. I think it was not long just before they just got announced, really. And I think Alex Lowry will be a good player. He's meant to be one of those really good young talents. But it's looking, I think it's okay for Hearts. I think Robbie's got a big job on his hands. I can't see Hearts going maybe pushing for 3rd. Can't see them being 2nd or 1st, but I think they'll challenge, and I think they'll get 4th place. So on to 3rd. Now this is one of the teams that have improved a lot, and Aberdeen as a club have been fantastic. Last season, getting a 3rd place finish. The last time that they got a 3rd place finish was actually under Dennis McLinnis. They've signed 3 players this window. They did lose their midfielder. I believe it was. I can't remember his name, but they got a fee of £1.2 million for him. They signed them for £100,000 last season, and they're making a massive profit. They've sold a couple other players as well for about the £600,000 mark. I think it was another player, I can't remember exactly, but they did sell someone else. And they've got Rhys Williams on loan from Liverpool, and they got Leighton Clarkson on an undisclosed fee, and then Nicky Devlin, of course, from Livingston, which I already mentioned. But the Pittodrie team are looking very good this season. They're in Europa League playoffs. I think they're in the qualifiers of the Europa League, so I think they need to win one game, and then they can potentially get Europa League football. If they lose, I think they've guaranteed themselves some group stage Conference League football like Hearts last season. And I think for Aberdeen, I think that's massive for a club like Aberdeen. Don't really ever see Scottish clubs getting into Europe, especially the smaller ones that are not Celtic or Rangers. But I think Aberdeen will be okay. I think the players they've got, Duke, unbelievable, Milovoski, unbelievable, and then the midfield is really good with that. Connor Bannon, I think, who's a really good young player. They've got a strong side. Whether or not they'll be good enough as well to maintain the league and the cup, I don't know. Europa League as well can be a lot more difficult. Whether or not they can pull it through is another question, but I think they'll be okay, and I think they will finish third in the Scottish Premiership. So on to the top two. Now we've put Rangers in second. And the reason I put Rangers in second is because I can't see them winning the league this season. They've spent a lot of money this window. They've spent £12.5 million, maybe even more than that now. From recording this, they've overspent on some players in my opinion. They got that Danilo from Feyenoord for a roundabout fee of like £6 million, which is an immense amount of money to be spending on one player, especially for Scotland. It's a lot of money, and I mean I know these clubs like Rangers and Celtic have that kind of money, and they do have Champions League qualification to go through for finishing second last season. But it's just I can't see Rangers doing too great this season. They do sign obviously Dijon Sterling on a free. They got Sam Lammers for about £3 million. They got Kieran Dowell on a free and Jack Butland on a free. They also signed Liam Balogun on a free from, I think it was, Queen's Park Rangers. Andela Sima is on loan from Brighton, and Jose Cifuentes is on a £1.4 million transfer from LAFC. And I just can't see. I think Rangers will be good enough, of course, to finish second. They will pick up some form. I can't see Beale being too good as a manager as well, and I think experience comes down to it. I think there's not enough experience at Rangers in the manager department. Beale's not good enough to be there, and I can't see them winning the league. I really cannot see them winning the league. So Rangers are second, and of course that means that Celtic are going to be champions this season, and I think everyone's going to predict that. Everyone's going to predict that Brendan Rodgers coming back. And the last time Brendan Rodgers was at Celtic, I mean, he left in January or December. But the season before that, unbeaten. An unbeaten season. And they have made a couple signings. They got Odin Holm, I think, for around about £1 million. And they got Mike Nawrocki for about a £5 million fee from Legia Warsaw. And Celtic, I mean, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be great. I can see them potentially even going unbeaten again. Brendan Rodgers is a top tier manager. He was at Leicester for 2 or 3 seasons, done really good at them. I mean, of course, they did get relegated last season, but he did get sacked at the start, and it was just maybe they needed a change of face earlier on before then. And yeah, I think he will be a fantastic manager this season. I can't see, as long as a lot of the Celtic fans probably hate him, I can't see them not winning the title this season. And yeah, it's going to be another chance. And Postecoglou left them in a really good place. Having Furuhashi, Kyogo, unbelievable player, and then you got Maeda, Lila Bada, who I'm surprised didn't leave this summer. But of course, there's still time in the window that could change potentially with some summer signings, and yeah, I think that really sums up Celtic. David Turnbull, another great player, And I'm sure Celtic will probably dip into the Scottish League as well to get some players off the competition. I'm sure Duke was mentioned to be potentially going to either Celtic or Rangers. But for that, guys, that is the prediction that I've got for you today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the season, especially for Dundee. I can't see us going down this season. I think we've made too many signings, but maybe the too many loans could maybe hamper us. But apart from that, I think we should be okay. I like Doherty's signings. We've got more on the way as well, and if we'll do some update videos as well for what we think potentially could happen. But for now, I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.